Hello everyone, in this video I am going to tell you how to set up your betta fish tank, and basically in this video I am going to share with you some tips and things that you should keep in mind while setting up your betta fish tank. So as you can see, this is my betta fish tank which I recently set up. Now the things that I am going to mention in this video will help you to create an ideal environment in your betta fish tank so that your fish will live happy and healthy life. So let's begin the video. So first of all, we will start the video with fish tank size, because this is a very important topic and it is usually very overlooked topic. You see, when it comes to betta fish, we usually see them in small cups in pet stores. So we obviously think that keeping betta fish in small containers is totally fine thing, but that's not actually the case. In the pet stores, they usually change the water of the container several times throughout the day. So it is not very practical for us as fish keepers to change the water of containers several times throughout the day. So that's why we need to keep our betta fish in a larger aquarium. Now, what is the ideal tank size for betta fish? Now it is a bit controversial topic, because some people will say that keeping betta fish in a 2.5 gallon tank is sufficient, and some people will say that you will need a larger tank. And what I recommend, especially if you are a beginner, is at least a 5 gallon tank for a single male betta fish. Now there are a lot of benefits of having a larger tank compared to a smaller tank. First of all, the waste or the toxics like ammonia, nitrite and nitrates build up very slowly in a larger tank compared to smaller tank. So it is a very important benefit, because these toxins are very harmful for your betta fish and this can lead to the death of your betta fish. That's why it is totally worth it to have a larger tank, especially if you are a beginner. Besides, betta fish requires certain water parameters, like they require specific temperature for their proper growth and development, and in a smaller tank these water parameters fluctuate very drastically and quickly. On the other hand, in larger aquariums these water parameters don't fluctuate very quickly, so it allows you sufficient time to fix the problem and get the water parameters within the ideal range. So these are a couple of benefits of having a larger aquarium. Besides, in a larger aquarium you can do a lot of things, like when you have a larger aquarium you can put different types of ornaments in the tank to decorate your tank and give it a unique look. So there are several benefits of having a larger aquarium compared to a smaller aquarium. So overall I recommend a 5 gallon tank for a betta fish. Now the second thing we need for betta fish is a filter. Now there are different types of filters, like there are sponge filters and hang on the back filters and internal filters and canister filters, which we generally don't need for a betta fish tank because they are very large. For betta fish I would recommend, ideally you should get a sponge filter or a hang on the back filter. As you can see in my aquarium I have used a sponge filter. Now there are several benefits of having a sponge filter for betta fish, and basically the benefit of having a sponge filter for betta fish is that betta fish have long fins, and so they need very slow water flow in their aquarium. And if you use any other type of filter like internal filter, generally it has very strong water flow, which is not suitable for betta fish. And another benefit of having a sponge filter is that it creates a lot of water agitation on the surface of the water, and this is important to keep your fish tank well oxygenated. So that's why I recommend a sponge filter. Besides, sponge filters are very easy to set up and they are very cheap as well. And when it comes to sponge filter, you will need to attach it to an air pump for it to work actually. And one advice I will give you when it comes to the air pump is that you should choose an air pump which is quiet. Believe me, you don't want a loud air pump because you will need to keep the air pump running 24/7. So choose a quiet air pump for your sponge filter. Now let's talk about the another equipment. The another equipment you will need for your betta fish tank is a heater. Now heater is very important for betta fish because betta fish is a tropical fish, so they need slightly warmer temperature compared to other cold water fish, and the ideal temperature range for betta fish is between 75 degree Fahrenheit to 84 degree Fahrenheit or 24 to 29 degrees Celsius. So you will need to maintain the temperature within this range range to keep your betta fish happy. Now when it comes to heater, you should choose a heater which has built-in thermostat so that it can maintain the temperature within the ideal range. Along with heater, you should also get a thermometer to measure the temperature of your aquarium water continuously. There are different types of thermometers for aquarium. You can get a mercury based thermometer or a digital thermometer. Both thermometers can work fine. Just make sure that they actually work. That's important, because I noticed that mercury thermometers are not very easy to read. However, I have mercury thermometer in my aquarium installed because I didn't actually found a digital thermometer. So if you can, ideally you should choose a digital thermometer. The next thing you will need for your betta fish tank is you will need an aquarium light. Now aquarium light is not very important, especially if you are not keeping live aquarium plants in your aquarium. However, still aquarium lights are important because under aquarium lights your betta fish will look better, and that's the whole point. You want to enjoy your betta fish, so it is a very good thing to invest in a good quality aquarium light so that you can basically see your betta fish properly and it should look great in your aquarium. The next thing you will need for your aquarium is aquarium substrate. Now there are different types of aquarium substrate available, like you can choose sand substrate or gravel substrate, or there is also ammonia based substrate for live aquarium plants. So generally if you are a beginner, you should start out with a gravel substrate because generally they are very easy to maintain compared to other kind of substrates. As you can see in my aquarium, I have a gravel substrate, and when it comes to gravel substrate, one thing you should particularly keep in mind is that you should choose gravel substrate that doesn't have very sharp edges, because betta fish has long delicate fins, so they can rub on the substrate and that can basically damage their fins, which we don't want, because then it can lead to bacterial infections and all that kind of bad thing. So overall you should choose gravel substrate that has rounded corners. So these are all the equipments that you will need to set up your betta fish tank. Now I will actually tell you how to actually set up your betta fish tank once you got all these equipments. So the first thing you will need to do is you will need to wash your aquarium properly, the fish tank. You will need to wash your fish tank properly with water, and then basically clean the fish tank with a clean cloth that you have not used with any other chemical. Now you will need to put some sort of padding below your aquarium. This is to prevent aquarium from cracking. So you can use any foam mat that is available at your house. You could use a yoga mat if you have any to keep below your aquarium. Now once you have put the yoga mat in place, then you should put your aquarium on the yoga mat, and then the first thing you should do is you should add the substrate that you have chosen for your aquarium. Now one thing I would say is that you should also clean your substrate with water before putting it in your aquarium. This is important because generally there is some debris deposited on the substrate, so washing the substrate with water before putting in the aquarium is a good idea. Especially I noticed the gravel substrate I purchased had a lot of debris in it, so I cleaned the gravel with water for 2 to 3 times to get rid of all the debris. Now once you have put the substrate in your aquarium, now at this point you should add water in your aquarium. You can use any water, like you can use tap water for your aquarium. Just make sure to add Dechlorinator into the aquarium to remove the chlorine from your aquarium, because chlorine is harmful for your betta fish. You can use any Dechlorinator. There are several Dechlorinators in the market like API, Dechlorinator and CChem Prime. I will put links to all these things I am talking about in the description down below so that it will be easier for you to purchase them. So once you have put the water in the aquarium, now you will need to set up all the equipments in your aquarium. So first of all you should put your filter in your aquarium, then you should also put the heater in your aquarium, and you should also fix the thermometer in place. Besides, if you have purchased some ornaments for your aquarium, then at this point you should also put the ornaments in place. Now your fish tank is taking the shape, and basically now you will think that Now at this point your fish tank is ready for your betta fish. But before adding betta fish in your aquarium, you will need to cycle your fish tank. Now cycling a fish tank is basically nothing but housing beneficial bacteria in your aquarium. Now this is very important to convert the harmful ammonia which is produced from the fish food and fish waste into less harmful nitrates. Now this is a very important step that a lot of beginners miss and it costs them their fish. That's why it is very important to cycle your aquarium before putting betta fish in your aquarium. Now there are different methods of cycling a fish tank. You can do fish in cycling where you will immediately put the fish in your aquarium, and there is also fishless cycle which is actually recommended because in fish in cycle it generally stresses the fish, which reduces its life expectancy. Actually, I have written several articles on cycling your aquarium, so I will put links to all the relevant articles in the description down below so that you can read the articles and know all the different ways to cycle your aquarium. Because if I tell you all the ways here in this video, then the video will get very long. So I highly recommend you to read the articles to get all the information. Now let's assume that you have cycled your aquarium. Now at this point, before adding the fish in your aquarium, once you got the fish, first of all you will need to acclimate the fish. So to acclimate your fish, what you will need to do is you will need to hold the plastic bag containing the fish on the surface of your aquarium water for at least 10 to 20 minutes. And then you will need to net out the fish and put it in your aquarium. You should not put the water in the poly bag in your aquarium because most likely that water will be very dirty. So that's how you set up your aquarium. I hope you found the video helpful. If you do, please like the video and please let me know if you have any questions in the comments down below. Also make sure to check the description of this video because there I will put all the links to all the products I talked throughout the video so that it will be easier for you to get the products. Besides, I will also put links to all the helpful resources or articles that will help you with your fish keeping journey, especially the links to the aquarium cycle related articles that I talked about earlier. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching.